We will start the stream pretty soon. I gotta wait for my toast to finish. Also, I gotta sneeze. We can check the sneezing off the to-do list. That has happened. Now it's just about toast. Okay, that took a little bit of time. Sorry about that. I've got toast and I've got butter on the toast and I've got cinnamon honey to go on the butter on the toast. Okay. All right. Once the cinnamon honey is deployed, we can begin talking about the situation on the computer. I need to reread the book Breakfast of Champions. I feel like it is ever more relevant today than ever. Let me find it. All right, we're going to read that. You didn't know that was a book? Oh, it's a book. Believe me, it is a book. So today, well, okay, yesterday, we were trying to do a thing so we can make midpoint teleportation a thing that works correctly with beams that bounce off mirrors and stuff. And I did all the programming, and you all saw it, and I got pretty close to it being done. And then I was like, you know what? This is way too complicated. I don't like it. So we're going to redo it tonight. It'll go a lot faster, I hope. With the caveat that, like, dude, I took a nap at like 6:30 p.m. And then I got up and I was just like really groggy after that. So my brain is maybe still kind of asleep. It's like a dolphin. So instead of adding to dragon segments every segment, okay, we're not going to have a dragon segments. We're going to have position samples, beam position sample. All right. And beam position sample is going to be it's going to be a little different. We're going to have a position, we're going to have a direction that the beam is going. We're going to have going to have an entity ID. Is it called entity ID? It's still called PID. That's so ridiculous. And then flags. What is... Yeah, that's a U32. So if it's bouncing off a mirror. Because what I realized today while I was thinking about this is like, hey, we also want to use this for sound effects. So, ta-da. There's always Golden Monkey to wake up on Turbo. Yes, but I want to go to bed in an hour and a half or 2 hours. How am I going to do that with Golden Monkey? Okay. So we don't need this num steps, this segment. We don't need any of this segment stuff in beam scan result, which means we don't need this shit either, I think. I mean, well, here's the thing. If we don't record this, we have to look it up again later. And like we have to compute it later, which we could do. In fact, right now, if we were to use this for sound, because we're not like putting these in any kind of spatial data structure, it's just gonna be like a linear search through an array initially anyway, at which point like we would know the index. But we might as well save it. I gotta finish my piece of toast and then we'll get serious. Okay. Okay. So that's that. Dude, I can't type. The cinnamon is in my brain. Okay, here we go. So we have the fuck is beam source info? It's got entity. Okay, that's all we need. Okay, so instead of putting this in Dragon segments, we're going to put the source beam dot position samples, all right? And we're going to put cursor dir, is it called dir? Delta the entity ID, which is frickin' source info.entity.entity ID, and then what was the other thing? Bro, what did I do? The flags. Right. So we're going to put that in. Okay, and then we're going to put that in there. Num steps, this segment is no longer a thing. Okay. Now, when we get down here, we don't do this here. We do this. Oops. Bro, give me this, please. We do this. And 0. There's no num steps this segment. Okay. Okay, so there surely are many other things we need to change. Num steps this segment. Oh. Lol. Lol, 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 lol. Dragon segment index when hitting object. Yes, we changed that. It's called beam position sample index. 420. Source beam dot position samples dot count. And then down here, this is going to be beam position sample index. Okay. Now that's on e-info, which is a beam info, something like that. Ocean info, endpoint beam info, no. Oh, yes. Okay. Now Sokoban, which is using this data, is this. And all of this is literally not a thing anymore, right? Except I probably didn't put that close comment in the right place. No, I did not. Okay. We're going to have to replace that code. Error in unary expression. The fuck? Oh, because all this was commented out. Dude, I don't even know what's going on here. Okay. We got a lot of no check-ins. All right, so our code now, once again, makes all these segment holios. But they're one per square, maybe. And these should be much easier to deal with. We didn't get rid of that much code because we need to put some back. But it'll be less than this. Also, we didn't even really do this part yesterday. This part needs to be as big as this. So it will have gotten rid of a lot of code. Good news, everyone. D's Nuts 784 is now a sub to the channel. Good shit. Okay, so as you can see, we're just going one square now. All this code is removed. Okay. Now, we're going to keep this part, this if source beam part. That still makes sense. Okay. Smaples. I like maple syrup. Okay, so we've got the samples. And then instead of doing all this really ugly segment stuff, okay, we should have this index. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Sample is samples sub index. This really shouldn't happen, but we're going to do it. All right, so if we're in there, we get the sample index. And now we want to know if we're covariant or contravariant. Remember those that we did? And we're just gonna do those again, right? So we're just gonna get this delta. But it's gonna be called if the dot product sample dot direction info dot delta is greater than or equal to 0 else. Right? Remember when we did this and we had our abusive terminology of covariant and Contra, which is a video game from the 80s variant. All right, we're going to say, for now, we're just going to say half is 0, num steps is 0. All right, and we'll do that next. Game audio is, dude, people will never stop complaining about game audio. All right. Contravariant, covariant. And why it's going twice, I don't remember. Maybe it's for a good reason. Okay, so this part's working. Contravariant, covariant. Cool, cool. Now we need the number of steps. Okay. If we are covariant, then num steps equals samples.count minus 1 minus index. Assert num steps is greater than or equal to 0. All right, otherwise, index minus 1 and if you are in the first slot, that'll give us -1. Let's say target index, right? We're going to say target index equals index minus half, or index plus half. All right. So now we're going to assert target index. Now the good thing about this is we now have the same code for both cases. Contrariant. Yes. Contrariant. That'd be a good name for a game. So one of these has the word steps. Okay, so cool. Our assertions are not going off. So now we're going to say target pos is samples sub target index dot position. All right, and then so I believe we have our mover dot position. All right, so info.delta equals target pos minus mover dot position. All right. Bing, we went maybe halfway, we'll see. Bing. Let's see, is that 15? Bing. See how easy that fucking was? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Is that where we ended up? 3 south of the other beam? Let's see. Yep. Oh, dude, that one lands us in that one. That's fine. 9, works, everybody. See how much easier that was to program? So this is the total amount of code. We didn't even have a working implementation yesterday. It was all this big and was gonna get bigger. Actually, bigger than this because we deleted some lines to move them over. And yeah, GG's. Did we work on the movement or animations more? I mean, you might just be mostly seeing lower frame rate due to debug build on the overworld, and now we're running around in a simpler level. All right. So here I'm going to say log error attempt to go past the last index of midpoint beam whatever. Index was whatever, samples.count was whatever. Okay, the midpoint beam is source beam. Wait, you know what? We don't need to save the entity ID on the frickin' thing. Okay. So let's, because these are stored on the entity right now, although so this, by the way, most or all. Where does this live? On the color struct. Okay. What happens if you would land on a mirror? Well, if you could push the mirror, you would displace it. We can, in fact, set that up as soon as we are back in compiling shape. All right, so sources, say source beam. Index samples.count. All right, that's all we were doing there. And then down here, we're going to say log error in midpoint beam handling, unable to find a promise light with ID. Okay. This should be on the if source beam. Yeah. For okay. So we're logging these errors. What? I forgot to do something. My brain is telling me that. No, maybe not. All right. Hope the transaction system will be included. It'll be included with the Sokoban game engine. The thing is, it's really overkill for most games. Like, you really need to be doing some crazy shit in order to need this. Oh, this is one off. Okay. So what if we just... Oops. What if we just bump those over? Right? And then I can go over here. Oh, I'm blocked. Wait. Oh, because endpoint doesn't make you push exactly. Although maybe you should in this case. This is an interesting rule. See, usually when you're blocked, it's because you occupy. Yes. Like, should it actually bump the mirror? Is the question. I feel like maybe it should. Are off-topic questions allowed? Depends on whether I like the question. Would bumping into the mirror push it to the left? Probably. Maybe. Probably. The thing is, right now, when the warrior's in an endpoint beam, he is blocked. If the if the endpoint is occupied. Anyway, that is an additional question that we can answer on a different session after some deliberations. There's a couple things I need to do. One, let's get rid of all the no check-ins. Two, we got to run the Benny test to make sure I didn't crash or do something else stupid. And then we can take the W. And then I can write an email to people. Look at all those no check-ins. Oh yeah, these ones were just to make sure that I had something to look at. All right. We don't need a no check-in there anymore. And entities. All right, great. Let's make a release build. That's going to take like a minute because LLVM And then we'll Benny test the game, and then we'll definitely do some questions while we are Benny testing the game, because that'll take a little bit of time. Is the editor still being rewritten with GetRect? Dude, I'm trying to get people to do that kind of thing, and they just don't ever do it. I mean, if I very explicitly assigned it to somebody and said, you have by this date to do this, then it would happen. But, you know, I say stuff like, hey, everybody, I would like to, you know, migrate all the old UI code in the editor over to GetRect, and it just doesn't happen. With that level of insistence, it doesn't happen. Because everybody's afraid of it or something. I get it, but it's not that big of a deal. You gotta be willing to like use some muscle if you're gonna make games. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, they come out bad. Otherwise, they come out bad. Gotta be willing to get wrecked. Yeah, I am in a groggy mood. Good thing we finished our feature already. We're gonna do a secondary little feature, etc. Wow, this takes a long time, dude. All right, 2 minutes to make a release build with LLVM. Good times. Good times, Chandler. Oh boy, we're not going to run this test at this speed. I tell you what. Oh, fuck. Somebody changed this so that you can't change the time rate in the middle. You have to restart. It's fine. It just somebody edited the way the times go, and it doesn't work anymore. All right, well, so far things are okay. That said, I don't see a lot of beams yet, and those are things that would break. So, oh, there was some beams. Not endpoint beams, though. But still, those beams could break. That was some endpoint beams. Would I ever watch all the tests run at a slow speed? Probably not. Life's too short for that. Oh, magnitudes. Why are you always broken? what could be an alternative that you use? I mean, people have been doing this stuff since the 1970s. I don't I don't understand. um have I changed my opinion since that time? Absolutely not. If you understood the substance of my argument, I think it would be clear that it's unlikely to change. It's not like a rando opinion, there's a reasoning behind it. And this is some excessive flashing happening right here. Have I built anything that needed a reverse Z buffer for better precision? Not since like 1998. That's people don't. Once you have floating point Z, that's not really a thing. Is it? Like, dude, I haven't heard of reverse Z buffer in fucking forever. Are people reading just really old graphics pages? What's the deal with gradient splatter? I don't know what you mean. What's gradient splatter? Do the tests take longer than it would take a player to complete the game? No. No. Does he mean Gaussian splatter? Maybe. If you mean the rewind effect, it's a temporary rewind effect because the game's not done. Thought the witness had a reverse E buffer. I don't know. If we did, maybe we. I don't fucking remember. Maybe we did that. Doesn't hit as hard with this new mic. Well, I didn't do the thing where I get up really close to it. Any thoughts about JetBrains? I've never one time in my life run a JetBrains product, so I really don't know anything about it. I just don't, I find it really sad that the state of computers has deteriorated to the point where these are like reasonable questions to ask. Like, what's an alternative for the LSP or whatever? Like, people literally don't know. Well, it sure seems like we are doing fine. It seems like I didn't wreck the game. All right, we're going to let this test complete. And then we will take the W. Taking the W. Would I make an art book for release? Hard to say. I mean, for The Witness, we were just too. It was all we could do to get the game done, right? So, I don't know. Uh-oh. Oh, man. Oh, I know what the problem was, guys. Okay. I actually knew this crash was going to happen. I literally fucking knew it was going to happen this morning when I woke up, and then I forgot. Okay, the reason is as follows. You know, I'm putting these samples in this array on the beam whenever we do midpoint. Wait, actually, that doesn't make sense. I'm sure it's related. Okay, it's not what I thought. Anyway, I knew that we would have a problem with Friendly Dragon. But actually, now that I think about it more, dude, what the fuck is wrong with Twitch? Stop. All right. So we almost made it through everything. So index 0 samples B. Okay, well this is not really reliable because it's a release build. But we can, we can just run the debug build and just go to promise 3 probably. Promise 3 Zach. All right. 781 out of 783. All right, let's just do that because this is an easy repro crash. Fuck, we're writing a mini dump. All right. I gave up on Silicon Valley around the start of season 2. Like I just wasn't. Dude. Alright. That's weird. Maybe the crash is only in release build. Nope. Okay, well that's interesting that our replay is playing back differently. Okay. Get move info. Index. Samples. Okay, the data pointer is hosed. It is hosed. I see. Oh. Wait. Right. I can't actually put this array in temporary storage because I mean obviously we use it across frames. So I was a goofball. I was like pretending like that wasn't true. All right. So okay, what did we call it? Position samples. Okay, so this is not in temporary storage. And this beam data thing okay. Okay. Um You know what? We weren't actually putting it in temporary storage, though. So, but we have to go. What was the thing? I think it was in BeamScan. Oh, yeah, right here. Actually, no. We all were putting it in temporary storage. Okay. Okay. There's all sorts of little things we got to do. There's this one step only. Okay. Well, that pretty clearly turns into this. I want to go to bed now, but we need to do some things. So, okay, and then we need to free the frickin' memory when we reset the entity manager. So this position samples array is on the promised light beam info. There's a beam source info and a beam info and all this stuff. And I'm going to have to clean this up at some point. But tonight I just want to make it work. Okay, so in entity manager, we're going to say okay, and then dude, stop fighting me. I need to switch Emacs mode or something. I bet somebody has a better one by now. I've just been using this one forever. So if light dot beam dot position samples dot data frame. I mean, theoretically we could just call free on all these, but yeah. Okay, that's a crash Holio. Fuck, it's writing the mini dump. What the fuck is wrong with you? I was debugging. All right. Well, we'll run this again. Was it coincidence or that level is the only one that goes multiple steps frames? No, what's going on is that was the level. I'm actually not sure. It may just be that this level has a ton of stuff on it, so it overwrites the temporary storage faster. This is the place where it was stuck. I don't really... Oh, wait. If I control shift stop. Yeah, well, okay. Good. Hey, I didn't crash. I didn't crash. And I ate potatoes with mash. Why is this guy fucking diagonal? I thought I fixed that so long ago. All right. I think we are good. How many draw calls? I don't care. It's not my job right now. Not my job. There is no way to get hover information or find reference without LSP. Everybody... Hey everybody, we found limits to computer science. There is no way to hover over something and get information without creating and transmitting across a language server protocol. It can't be done. All right. You simply cannot hover over something and get information without a language server protocol. It's See, now he's rotating correctly. That time he didn't. Fucker. Okay, let's take the W. All right. I keep forgetting to clean this up and this up. All right. Endpoint, midpoint beam now works with mirror reflections. Okay. Easy clap. I will send an email. Um, I just checked in a code change where this should now work correctly with bouncing off mirrors. Note that it is possible to land on a mirror or a crystal if there were one in the path. Right now, this results in you being blocked, but I guess there's a question of whether you should push the object inside the beam if you can push things. This would be more like what happens with the double beam, but if we did that, it might change some levels with the warrior and the warrior being blocked by a crystal in the end of the purple beam. But maybe there is no such level. Would be a good level. Not sure. Anyway, we should figure out whether we want you just to be blocked or to be able to push stuff out of the way. All right. Now I just hope the game actually oh, he checked in a new level. We could play that while we wait. Just for confirmation. Oh boy. This level. Look at all this crap. Okay, we got 2 characters. This guy's strong beam. But there's no way. Interesting. Wow, okay. That ocean object is really fucking pissing me off. The only real move that I see is this. Now this guy could get out. And he could push like this. Okay, so we get a mirror. That lets us put the beam the other way. Lol. Wait. Okay. Maybe it's not done. We just won the level. Yeah, maybe it's not done. What's the Cyan Beam Merino? It makes your character stronger than your character is. It enhances strength. All builds passed. Okay. Great. I'm going to go to bed, everybody. It's kind of a short stream, but that's okay. We got our job done. Thank you, everybody. I will see you later on at a different time, different date, different undisclosed location. See you later. Or disclosed location, maybe. I don't know. You don't know.